Yo, yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of From Grateful to Greatness. I am your beloved host, Mario Kaleo, and every episode begins, of course, with me being grateful. So, I'm grateful for my wife, my family, my friends, everybody who follows me on social media, all of you for taking the time to listen to this podcast, and God and the universe for allowing your boy another day on this planet to talk to yo asses. So, I got young RGZ here again. John's in the back there doing the recording. We recording. And this is episode Deuce, the sequel, the Judgment Day, the Dark Knight of the From Grateful to Greatness podcast.
The Secret of the Ooze?
The Secret of the Ooze, yeah. First off, just want to say... I just want to say thanks to everybody who listened to the first episode. We got some great feedback, man. Yeah. People really liked what they heard. RJ made people cry. It was really good, man. It came out really well. Thanks to John for.
I saw it, but I had one tear.
The tear of a clown. Yeah, but it got a lot of great feedback, and that is something to be grateful for. Actually, so. Yeah, man, today we are going to overall talk about a concept that I brought up in my book. It's one of the first videos I ever did, which was a couple years ago now. I'm probably going to do the video again because I'm better at talking now. When I first did that video, it was, I rewatched it, I'm like, it's kind of whack. But...
Elite sex tape?
Yeah. It's about not bullshitting yourself, which is a lot of times people will ask me, how did you lose weight? How did you quit smoking? Blah, blah, blah. And I think the main component to any massive change in your life is being honest with yourself, which a lot of people not too fond of doing. A lot of people are very not self-aware. They don't like to really admit reality, I guess. And listen, I'm a fucking wacko too. I live in the fantasy land too, but
be plain.
Yeah, after the night when I almost died and all that stuff, the next day I kind of stepped back and I was like, man, like, why does this keep fucking up? Like, why do I keep messing everything up, you know? And it dawned on me that I wasn't being honest about who I am or how I work as a person. So from then on, I decided to start living in a way that was a little bit more congruent with who I am. So, I don't know. You're quiet today. What's up?
No, I was just listening. I was just listening to what you're saying because I know, you've mentioned this before. We've talked about this on plenty of occasions. And why people do it, I couldn't tell you. I know why I did it and what I thought. I thought that, like a lot of people, certain things will just work out. There's something that will eventually click in and I'll be fine and it'll all work out when...
God, if only that were true.
It's not. I mean, eventually you get to a point where you're like, oh, shit.
There's a very, 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 very small percentage of the world that happens to.
Yeah, and they should consider themselves lucky.
Like one person that, like, no matter what, somehow...
It just worked out
on their feet to some point.
Yeah, and it's true. For me, it was just like eventually I was like, all right, if any of this is gonna change, I gotta fucking put it on my shoulders and just do it.
Yeah, dude. I actually wanted to switch gears for a second before we get back into that topic because it is such a broad topic. But on the fitness tip, on the way here, RJ and I were talking about this and. Once again, I guess it's kind of on the topic of being self-aware, because not bullshitting yourself is really a big component of being aware of who you are as a person.
Sure.
And it's just, it's basically humbling yourself. It's like, all right, like for me, back in the day, I used to try cheat meals. And that shit just became cheat month. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't do, like, all right, I'm going to work out all week, and then I'm going to have a Whopper on Saturday. But then I would eat the Whopper, I'm like, that was fucking great. And then, and then Sunday I'd be like, fuck it, man, let me get another Whopper, dude. And then it became a week straight of fucking fast food binging.
Yeah.
But it was the same with smoking.
Yeah.
I tried social smoking. I tried, I did the bullshit where I would bum them off people. Like, I'm not buying them anymore.
Yeah, that would have get your ass kicked.
Well, and I think a lot
your friends might end up hating you, but... Yeah.
I think a lot of smokers do that, though. They get to this point where they're just kind of like, all right, I'm not buying them anymore.
Yeah.
And then you're out, and you're like, let me get a cigarette, bro. And then you just end up smoking at other people's fucking cigarettes. And it's like, you know, for me personally, and I envy people that actually can do things in moderation. Like, that to me is incredible because I'm not that guy. I'm addiction prone.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the dude that if I have, thank God it never really happened with alcohol. I mean, it did for, like, it was a little bit where I was getting wasted like 4 or 5 nights a week. But I wasn't like a true alcoholic.
Right.
You know, like an alcoholic's like a motherfucker who wakes up and is like, bam, let me get a vodka martini to have breakfast with.
Yeah, they just don't feel right unless they're drinking.
Yeah,
unless they're
like
somewhat buzzed.
I
yeah.
wasn't that guy, but I'm definitely a dude who's addiction prone. I'm a guy, and I think you share that. You share that with me as well. It's like the cool thing is though we at some point learned how to turn that into our favor.
Yeah, because I mean the idea of having an addictive personality is not as bad as it sounds. It just depends what you become addicted to.
Right.
I find it funny that when it's something bad for you, it's called addiction. When it's something good, it's called obsession.
Being driven.
Because you wouldn't say, man, Batman is addicted to fighting crime. You know what I mean?
Actually,
like,
you could say
you could, but most people would
He's
just
obsessed,
be like,
yeah.
like but you'd look at somebody like Bruce Lee and say, man, he was obsessed with his fitness. He was obsessed with goals. You know what I mean? And it's a positive thing.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't say fucking Bruce Lee was addicted to martial arts. You know what I mean? Like, you would just be like, he was obsessed with that shit.
Yep.
That's always been an interesting thing to me. But yeah, like that addiction prone man, and to go back into not bullshitting yourself is, I realized that shit just doesn't work for me, man. I tried it so many times. I tried social smoking. I tried, I'm only going to smoke a few a day. I tried, and I feel like, man, we don't talk about smoking enough, which is like, because I think with like weight loss, it's like there's a picture.
Yeah.
You know, you can see the before and the after.
But you don't see your lungs.
Yeah, you don't see, there's no before and after pics of my lungs, you know?
That reminds me of the movie Clerks. You ever see that?
The movie Clerks? Yeah, sure.
Okay, so he's selling the cigarettes, and the guy comes and he puts the deformed lung on the table.
Yeah.
It's the gum representative.
Yeah.
He's like, "What's that?"
Truly's
That's
gum.
Your lung on. It's your lung. It's a. What was it?
That's your lung after
That's a
50
lung-
years of
yeah,
smoking or
something
some
like
shit
And
like
he had the
that.
pictures, and they're like, "Ugh."
Yeah,
They're
they're really
helping with cigarettes, calling it cancer merch.
there really isn't like that doesn't exist, and I think that's why a lot of people don't talk about it. But man, quitting smoking is probably, a lot of people will say it's the hardest addiction to kick, and I think it is.
Because nicotine's addictive, and if you have an addictive
Highly
personality at the same
addictive.
time,
It's highly
But
addictive.
it's
It's up there.
It's not only
you have
that.
to really wean off it. It's like crack almost.
You can't really, with smoking, it's like it becomes.
I know, but I'm still the only smoker at the table, so it's.
I occasionally, I have an e-cig I occasionally smoke.
That's what I have now. I'm trying with the vapor.
What I did is I got some that have nicotine if I need to wake up in the morning, and the rest just don't have any. So it's more the concept, because I never really smoked to where like I would inhale cigars and stuff. It was more like social, just like.
Oh,
off and
bro,
on
I
and
was
stuff.
2 packs a day.
Yeah, I was never that
But
bad.
I've done that.
I was
I've
never that
inhaled them
bad.
before and stuff. It felt good.
Yeah.
But I just
Well, that's
know
the-
that
that's
I
the-
just know I
but-
can't keep it up.
Yeah.
For what you just
Because
said.
I know it's not.
That's
the right
why.
thing. Yeah.
That's why people do it.
That's a beautiful realization I had as well. It's like, dude, the reason you want to do this shit is because it's awesome. Smoking wouldn't make billions of dollars if it wasn't awesome.
But if you do it all the time, that awesomeness.
I
you need more and more.
understand that, but there's a reason that fast food and smoke and cigarettes are freaking billion-dollar industries. It's because you eat a Big Mac and it's fucking fantastic. And
Right.
if you smoke a cigarette, it feels good.
After a while, not at first maybe, but eventually.
Well, you know what I'm saying
yeah.
is that
Once you're
these things you have to admit that to yourself
Yeah.
to say, okay, the first part of this is I like this shit. That's the first thing, and that's okay. Like,
Yeah.
you're not fucked up for liking it. You're human.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The next part is, if you're like us, and you're addiction prone, to say to yourself, I clearly can't have this around. Like, I just can't, because if I do, I go right back to what I was
Yeah.
doing already. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And you've learned that with
Oh, yeah.
your own...
I've quit like 4 or 5 times.
Dude,
I mean,
I
I've done
quit, like,
pills.
8
I've done
times
everything to
before.
try to quit. Yeah, I mean, the truth is, though, eventually you'll do it again, and then after X amount of months, you're right back to where you were, if not worse. So
Yeah, the worse your personality is when it comes to being addicted, you need to substitute something. Not like I can I can go weeks without having alcohol. I don't like to, but I can.
Yeah.
Like, I don't require it.
Right.
Now,
But you don't start to itch.
A nice lemon before bed is,
Sure.
relaxes you a little. But
Yeah,
I could go weeks without it. I can go months without smoking a cigarette or a cigar or whatever.
Yeah.
But not everyone can do that. There are
No.
people that can
And
go
that's
a couple
what I
days.
mean,
There are
like-
people that can't go an hour.
Right.
So if you're one of those people that you're,
Bro, I
your
used to
personality is so
celebrate
addictive, it's-
Everything with a cigarette.
Every event in the
Yeah.
day was celebrated. Woke up, thank God, have a cigarette. Go to take a shit, have a cigarette. Sex, cigarette. Eat, cigarette. I mean, every little thing was about smoking. And that right there is why it's so hard to quit.
Yeah.
Because it becomes like a staple of everything you do, man. That is the hard part. It's not necessarily the nicotine, that's a part of it, but it's more about the routine.
Yeah.
It's breaking that routine that's so difficult when it comes to smoking or really any addiction, I guess.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, like when I was younger.
you
and even-
develop like a cycle, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
But when I was younger and even into my early 30s, I didn't get hooked on stuff like that. But you know what? I love video games. Always have. In some of them, I would put them on and just play for hours.
Oh, yeah.
Hours. Till like,
Oh, yeah.
2 in the morning. Oh shit. Now as I've gotten older, it's that all that has waned. Where I don't even whether it's cigarettes or gaming or booze or whatever. It's not as bad as it was.
No.
Luckily, but I know that I could probably
Fall
easily
right back, yeah.
into
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Which is but see, that's what I mean though, is that being self-aware and and once again, not even once again, I haven't brought this up yet, but RJ and I don't know if you share this quality, John, but RJ and I are extremely hard on ourselves, and that's because we're too fucking self-aware. Some people are not self-aware very much at all. Some people are to a little bit, and then you have us who are on this crazy other side of the spectrum where it's like, I don't know, I think you are the same when it comes to this. You are so aware of your flaws that you beat yourself up for a lot of mistakes to an extent. You're probably not,
Yeah.
I don't think you're as bad as I am
No,
when it
I
comes
don't
to
think
this.
anybody's as bad.
Nobody's
you
as
are.
bad as I am, but the truth is that being self-aware does help you accomplish stuff, and it is an important thing to do because it at least puts you in the right avenue. It's like, well, okay, I know what I'm capable of and I know what I'm not capable of, and that's okay. And a
Yeah.
lot of like motivational people will try to tell you, and a lot of them won't do this, but a lot of them do say, you can improve everything about yourself and you should do this, this, and that, and the other. And it's like, you know what, dude, I believe you need to find the shit that you're good at and maximize the fuck out of that
And
stuff.
accept the stuff you're not good
And accept the stuff you're not good at and be okay with it. And I'm not saying you shouldn't try to improve.
Sure.
You always should. Like if you are, if you suck at math, but you got to take a math class for school, then it is probably your obligation to try to improve a little bit in that area. But if you suck at math, you probably shouldn't go to school to be a mathematician or maybe, work in physics. You know what I mean? Like, but if like me, I'm naturally adept at writing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it makes sense to be like, well, why don't you just go to school for writing stuff? Why don't you get a degree in that arena because you're already naturally good at it? When I
Right.
tried to go to school to be a personal trainer, I felt like my fucking brain was going to explode, dude, because I understand fitness, I don't understand biology. You know what I mean? And I'd be sitting there reading this shit, and I would just be baffled. And I had to step back and be like, man, maybe I just don't get it. Like, and that's okay. Maybe if I study and study and study, I just don't get it. Because, dude, I come to RJ for a lot of advice because he does understand it. Our friend Tony De Leon, he understands it. I mean, just recently, they both gave me advice that, like, completely shifted how I was working out at the gym and made the experience 10 times better for me. And that was pretty much...
Weights before
RJ,
cardio.
yeah, and RJ basically told me stop running and then lifting weights because you're fucking wiped out, dude. Like, how are you gonna have energy to do it? So I changed it up and I lifted weights first and ran after, and I felt like I was fucking like Terminator or something
But it's
on
a
the
simple-
treadmill, just like pumped
Right.
up, But a simple shift. But once again, self-awareness and not bullshitting yourself and knowing who you are, right? Be humble enough to say, I'm not smart in this arena. Let me ask somebody who is. Or at least let me ask somebody, maybe not to say you're not smart, but maybe ask somebody who knows more than you and be humble enough to do so. Because I
And
think...
listen.
maybe?
Just to listen.
Someone that has more wisdom than you, maybe.
Yeah, or,
Well-
and just straight up understanding of the material. I mean, I'm not gonna ask. Okay, here's a good example. I'm not going to go to RJ to ask a computer question. I'm going to go to you to ask a computer question. It's not because he doesn't know shit about it. It's just because you
know
probably
more.
know way more. And that's humility. It's knowing your strengths, knowing your weaknesses.
I always say that, you know, everyone, there's always people that are like, oh, you shouldn't be working a McDonald's job at 35 years old, all this kind of stuff, right? And I always say, you know, first off, there's a finite amount of stuff out there, but more importantly, not everyone has the ability and skill set to be a rocket scientist.
No.
Like, you know what? I'm good with computers. Can I work construction and build a house? No. Are there people that can? Yes, they do a damn fine job at it.
Oh,
That
like
is
my father, dude, he was just like naturally adept at construction. All things construction, dude. You know what I mean?
I had my own mic off.
Oh, John's been talking in the distance for this whole time.
No, but I think it's important, like what you said, and the humility part of it is. So sometimes people say, "Well, I just don't know. I'm not gonna get it. I'm never gonna get it." Well, yeah, if you have that mentality, you won't.
Try.
You should ask. I mean, you should not be afraid to ask somebody for help.
Yeah, and
Or
oh god, but I
advice.
fucking hate that though. Like
Nobody likes it. I'm sure nobody
asking
likes
for
it.
help. What you said before that, I hate when people say that shit to me, man. It's like, well, you know, not how do you put it? Because it's kind of like going against what we just said. But it's like, if you don't know how to do some shit, but it needs to get done, you need to do this in your life to improve a certain area. Fucking humble yourself and just ask somebody what the fuck is up. Like, hey, dude, you know this shit better than I do. That's why I asked Tony last week.
Yeah.
We were on and I know Tony works out like a motherfucker, and I know he knows a lot about this stuff, and he was a personal trainer at one point.
Yeah.
So it's like, clearly this guy's knowledge of this stuff surpasses my own. You know what I mean? I can help you lose weight like a motherfucker. I can help you quit an addiction. I can give you the mental tools to do it. But when it comes to the science behind it, I'm not the dude for that. And I say that all the time. It's in my book. I'm very clear about that. Like, do not come to me for workout plans. Because I'm going to fuck your shit up. I still myself don't know what I'm doing 100%. And that's... the humility part comes in, and the self-awareness part comes in again, because it's like, this is a lifelong journey, and you can't just think every single thing you try to do is going to work, dude. You have to be willing to adapt and try new things and trial and error, and it's going to happen, dude. It's like you said, you try to quit smoking 4 or 5 times. Bro, before I fucking got it right, probably 8, 9, 10, how many times I tried to stop smoking and it didn't work. And the only thing that did work was me accepting the fact that I can't smoke.
Yeah.
Period.
At all. Period.
I cannot smoke, period. Because if I have one, everything inside lights up. No pun intended. But everything inside lights up and it's like, whoa, that's fantastic. You know what I mean? Because unfortunately, dude, when it comes to substance, I'm kind of a weak person, dude. And I can admit that to myself. I'm the guy that if I go get a Big Mac right now, inside I'm going to light up. And I'm going to be like, man, that was fucking great. Let me get something else. You know what I mean? Because I think a lot of that comes from, like, the past, which is, like, you know, dealing with so much, like, fucked up shit and depression and stuff.
You used it as an escape
crutch.
kinda.
That and you naturally just want to feel good. And it's not heroin.
Yeah.
It's not crack, so it must not be that bad. And you know that's.
I mean, there's some truth to that. Yeah.
But that's what I mean. Is like that's how my mind works. It's like, well, it's not crack, so it's not that bad. It's okay for today. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, I think the point of all this is a lot of you guys that are listening to this are wondering why you can't get something right yet. You're still, and maybe some of you have, and you're shaking your head like, yeah, they're right. But for those of you that haven't figured that out yet, where you can't seem to get a handle on whatever it is, like you've been trying to learn to play the xylophone for 10 years, and you just can't get it right. But it's a horrible fucking analogy. But I mean, all right,
the xylophone doesn't kill you if you don't figure out how to.
Learn the bagpipes.
But I mean, okay, all right. Well, here, I was trying to be funny, just to get a laugh out of whoever's listening to give some levity here. But let's go in another avenue. You want to get better at playing basketball, right?
Yeah.
How are you going to do that if you don't fucking go practice?
Or quit smoking.
Or quit smoking. You know what I mean? I mean, you're not going to... And I didn't mean you.
No, all
right. But I guess that, like, I'll give a good example. Yesterday when we were in Lake Michigan swimming, Jose, I had to stop him. Jose was like, I think I could touch the bottom.
Yeah, it's 30 feet.
And we were in the water, and I'm like, first of all,
it's kind of deep.
I was like, first of all, you ain't gonna make it to the bottom, bro. That's number one, because you're not a swimmer, you're not Aquaman, you're not, and the current is gonna whack your ass side to side before you ever make it down. And I was like, but the other thing is, you smoke. You cannot hold your breath long enough to make it down there. Thankfully, he agreed and decided it was a bad idea. But
right. No worries.
I mean, I don't know, dude. I just feel like so many people out there, they try things and they fail constantly because they are not able to be honest about who they are. They just can't be honest about why they're not able. Dude, like, you know yourself, right? You know yourself. I think we're very self-aware people where we know when we're bullshitting. We know when we're not putting 100%. We know when we're not really putting effort towards something. Just recently, RJ asked me, hey, did you write that thing for the comic? And I was like, no. And then he was like, all right, well, just get it done. And I texted him back. I said, dude, don't be afraid to be like, move your ass, stop bullshitting. And then he was like, all right, dude. He's like, for real, you got to get it done already. And I told him, I'm like, dude, you cannot, you know, it's okay. Like, if I'm, sometimes you're not going to be 100% in all areas, dude. Even if you're hitting, you know, it's just.
I don't even think it's possible you can be 100% in all areas.
It's not, but you know
guy
what?
That ever came to it was that guy that used to do all the selling stuff, and he died of cocaine.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. That's what happened.
He was 100% all the time because of the coke.
I know who you're talking about.
But I mean, I just feel like so many people out there, man. Like, you know, I've known people personally too, where it's just like on and off, on and off, on and off, on and off, on and off,
and you wonder of people in the world.
And but then you're sitting back and you're wondering, why isn't this happened yet? Like, I'm not, like, once again, I'm honest with about who I am. I don't wonder in my brain why I don't look like Stephen Amell yet. It's because I like eating fucking, fucking tamales and shit. You know what I mean? Like, I like eating fucking, burgers and not hamburgers, but you know what I mean? Like, I don't eat the way Stephen Amell or Dwayne Johnson probably do, which we've seen their diet plan.
Yeah.
They eat fucking halibut, perch, halibut, chicken, halibut, asparagus. It's like fucking.
And after a couple of weeks, it's like, give me a goddamn Whopper.
You'd be surprised what you could accomplish if people are paying you millions of dollars to look that way in a movie.
Okay, that's different.
But
I guarantee
each
one of them has something that they.
Shouldn't. Oh no, Dwayne Johnson posts his epic cheat meal days, but he only does that after his training and shit.
Right.
But like I said, I'm not stupid to sit back and be like, why don't I look like them yet?
You don't look good in green.
Yeah. But I mean, like RJ too. Like, you know damn well why you're not 100% at your fitness peak.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because
I like food too much.
And you still smoke here and there. You know
Sure.
what I mean?
Yeah. I can't get the cardio to the point that I need it to be, especially for basketball, because I smoke. But no, I don't look like a freaking superhero because I want to have carbs and.
Yeah.
I mean, I've made a conscious decision. I don't need to be 2% body fat. I just want to be healthy.
Really I mean, unless you wanted to show off or be a bodybuilder or something, or be a model, there's very little reason to want to.
For sure. I mean, I've always said I wanted to.
Let me correct it. As the fat guy here,
well, I'm still a fat guy too, bro.
At heart, anyway. Sometimes.
But
everyone
as the
is.
fat guy here, I think.
Well, you're losing weight.
Being a normal, everyday.
Hard on yourself.
I hide a lot of stuff. Believe me. There's lots of stuff I don't talk about. But to be just a normal, healthy person, I don't think you really need to get to that level. Now, if that's what you want to do and you want to be that into fitness and stuff, then sure. But as an average person that just wants to be able to lose some weight and, wear clothes with like 1X,
But I feel like so many people
But you should always strive to be better than what you want
Sure.
to.
repeatedly we're seeing the same mistakes over and over and over and over again, and then people are confused as to why they keep happening, and it's like it's because you're bullshitting yourself all the fucking time. You think that the bullshit you've been doing is gonna work to make this happen, and it's not, dude. Like you can't be the person you are and expect different results. You have to become a better version of yourself to get better results. And that's not to say that you got to be some fucking superhero or be like an amazing human. It literally just usually means a small shift in how you think.
Or like you said, accepting
what you do,
like
or
you
what
said,
you do.
Accepting self-awareness and acceptance of things that, you know what, I'm not great at math. I say that all the time. My new job, I have to do invoicing. And there's mathematical formulas. I'm like, you know what? Is the formula there already? They're like, yeah. I'm like, I can plug it in. I can do that.
Copy and
Don't
paste it.
ask me to write the formula.
Right.
But people like, especially,
But there are people that would get frustrated and say, oh my God, I got to learn how to do it. No, you don't.
But
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say. I mean, there is a formula to losing weight. There is a very well-known formula, but people just sometimes don't want to read and what it
portion
is.
control is the most basic level of that.
That's the most basic. But if you start paying
Calories
attention,
in versus calories out.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
timing,
Exactly.
but also timing of when you eat, timing of when you actually have. I mean, there's easy answers out there. You just have to be willing to look for them, and then have enough
And find
conscious
it,
decision to agree with them.
And find out what works best for your body. Try something for
Sure.
2 months.
Well, that's what I've
everyone
always
told
told
me.
everything.
Everyone always say, "Oh, cut back on pop, cut back on beer." I'm like, I don't drink that much of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I did it for like 3 months, and there was like a 2-pound difference. I went back to drinking my normal stuff, and then just watching. Okay, you know what? I don't need to finish everything I made for dinner. I don't need to do whatever.
Yeah.
Big difference right there.
Yeah.
It's
definitely.
small. It really is that, man. It's like little
Knowing
shit
your body
that
and finding what works.
Well,
for
we've
you is
always
the
said that. I
biggest
mean, losing weight and getting in shape is trial and error. Period.
it
I mean,
is.
and it's
It
for the
really
long
is.
haul.
There's like
so you
two
have all the
there's
time
two
in the
basics,
world.
but yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
and
you have to be willing, though.
Sure,
you
sure.
got to be
Of course,
willing
yeah.
to try different things, see what works, and that's
And realize
once again
and not get
is
frustrated when something doesn't work.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, and look, it's okay to get frustrated.
Yeah, if you
just
busted your
don't-
ass for
just
4
don't-
weeks
you have to
doing
get-
something.
But you have to get past that and realize,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
this I need to, like you said, you need to tweak it a little bit.
Yeah.
I need to stop banging my head against the brick wall. This isn't working.
Exactly.
And try a different thing.
And that's
Which is,
something to your extent, to what you're saying about how we are. I mean, we beat each other up. So I think some people are that way, and then they beat themselves into submission.
Yeah.
They beat
Oh, yeah.
themselves to the point where they're just like, you know what, fuck it, it's just not going to work. It's
Yeah.
just, no matter what I do, no matter how I tried, look, I did all this, and it still didn't work. Well,
Yeah,
I mean, you probably
that's
should
more
have,
how I am than you
but
guys,
you
yeah.
have to, I mean, sometimes you just have to pick it apart and do one thing at a time and give
And
it
the
time.
alternative to that is, what are you gonna do then? Fucking
Just
stop?
stop? Yeah.
Like, what's the alternative? I mean, the alternative is then to still be fucking
Yeah,
miserable.
the alternative is to go back to eating how they were, or smoking, or whatever other
and-
vice
and-
they might have. I mean,
and
they
that's
just
the-
give up.
That's more how I am than you guys. When we don't do these shows a lot, or when we don't talk a lot, you two are two of the more motivational people I know out of all my friends. A lot of the other ones are just they just
They are what
shit
they-
sucks.
they're in-
Shit sucks. Fuck this. Fuck that. You know, and that doesn't help. And then I'll try something and it doesn't work out. And it's like, well, fuck it. Why am I bothering? It's obviously not going to work.
Yeah, I mean,
And
that's how a
that's
lot
why
of
I said
people
when you
see
said earlier, I said no. There's a lot of things I don't talk about or that I don't want to
And
portray
dude,
because I want to portray a positive image. But there's a lot of me that is
No, but
very,
see,
very
John,
like that.
And
Sure.
I've told you guys in the past,
a lot of people. Though. And it's like everyone.
positivity isn't about, like I said this in the last episode, positivity is not about walking around acting like everything is fucking fantastic. Positivity is about going after shit and keeping fucking some type of strength behind you, even, using that negative energy to create positive results, positive change.
Despite what else is going on.
Despite what else is going on. I mean, dude, some people might say to me, oh, your YouTube channel doesn't have a lot of hits, a lot of views, it's a pointless endeavor. There are times where I step back and I have that same thought. But then the other side of me is like, well, first of all, dude, the video has 16, 25, 35, 75 views, right?
So you've helped that many people.
That means that many people watched it. Or it means the same 5 people watched it a whole bunch of times. Whatever the case may be, it does mean that whatever the hell I'm doing is at least affecting somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that means I don't know. That right there keeps me from stopping. You know
Well, it
what
gives
I mean?
you the
But,
the absolution or the
validation.
validation. Thank you.
But like when it comes to fitness or weight loss, dude, even if you and this is something a lot of you guys fucking pay attention. Even if you don't get the result you were looking for, you still went out and did something. You know what I'm saying?
And it's
like
still for the greater good.
it's still for the greater good. I can recall so many times where I killed myself the night before in the gym. The next morning, stepped on the scale, and the motherfucker didn't move. And I wanted to fucking Macho Man elbow smash the shit. Like,
Yeah.
you bastard. But what kept me from quitting was I felt good working out. Like, I still felt really good. And even though the result wasn't what I wanted, and even like RJ said, okay, maybe I had enough. Maybe I ate too much. Whatever the case may be. We don't
That's
know.
true.
But at least I still put the effort in to stay working on my goals, right? I think so many people, man, they don't see the result they want, and it's over. Like, fuck it, I'm done. But they miss the point of, and I'm talking as a guy who is constantly hard on myself about not getting things the way I want them to be, right? But what saves me is stepping back and saying, man, I may not be exactly where I want to be yet, but damn if I'm not trying, man. Damn if I'm not putting the effort to get to where the fuck I want to be. You know what I mean? And that's something I think a lot of you guys listening right now, if you're not exactly getting the results you want to get, step back, humble yourself a little bit, maybe talk to somebody, fucking use Google for God's sakes. There's so many
Oh, yeah.
avenues to
Definitely
find
use
knowledge.
Google.
There's so many avenues to
Yeah.
find knowledge.
It's almost
But-
overwhelming.
Fuck, I Google everything.
I mean, but
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
not as good with computers as he thinks. There's a lot. I just Google search better than
I
RJ.
Google everything.
I really feel like that, man. I feel like people just fucking they try things and then I only lost a pound, and it's like, yeah, you lost a pound though. Like you
Yeah.
still it's progress. Like why are you so I mean, and once again, I want to stress the point that I am a guy who is very hard on myself, but I also recognize the fact that progress is progress, dude. It's positive. If it went forward, you did something right. And even if you didn't lose weight that day, right? You still did more than motherfuckers that don't do shit.
Sure.
So there's something to take some pride in. And like you said, man, it's so much about the whole like going after like information and trying to find the people or the avenues where the information's available. I mean, we talked about this in the last episode, but I think so many people are just like, I don't know what it is, fucking dense. I don't know what the word is to call it, because I don't want to say it's not.
I think they're afraid. I think it's sometimes.
Lazy?
No, this
No,
has
you know
happened to
what?
me
I think
too.
It's everything. I think it's some
It
people
could
are
be
lazy,
some
some
of
are
every-
afraid, some get overwhelmed from the information they get.
Right.
You know,
When they know what it is, and they're like, oh, all I have to do is this. I mean, there's a difference between being easy and simple. You know what I mean?
Everyone wants to
It's
be-
very,
everyone
very
wants to be.
simple to lose weight, but it's not easy. You know, those two words don't mean the exact same thing.
Right.
I mean, yeah, it's a simple process to lose weight, but when you're telling somebody who's lived like that for years to change who they are and how they live in order to do that, at times it's not easy. You know, you found out it
fucking
wasn't
hard,
easy.
dude.
When you were 400 pounds, you had to start walking first before you could even run because your knees couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
Sometimes just hearing that
Knees,
real,
just my
whatever, your
body,
body couldn't
everything
take
couldn't
it.
handle it.
But sometimes people hear that or they see that and they get discouraged because it's like, damn, I gotta, not only do I have to start at 1, I gotta start at -1, and I gotta work my way up there. The one thing I would tell people, anybody, whether you lose weight or not, and it's about exercising and a better diet plan, sometimes you have to just take heed in what you can't see. You know, you spent the whole week working out. You maybe lost a half a pound and you're pissed off. But think about it. Your circulatory system's better. Your breathing's probably better. Your weight may not have lost, but it's adjusted. You're in better shape now. You've done more for yourself in this week than you would have if you had not done shit.
That's a good point, though. Too many people focus on the weight.
On the what is it?
Aesthetics.
Aesthetics of looking
need-
good.
People don't realize that when you start
Well,
working
you
out,
can't do a Facebook post about your circulatory system.
No, but
Well,
I
no,
mean,
but
but-
people-
Which
but
is
it's
why
not
I
that.
think in our society right now, not to cut you off,
No, it's
John,
fine.
but I think in our society right now, people are so obsessed with, you know, showing like aesthetic results, you know what I mean, and being like, look at the scale, it moved. Look at my face, it's thinner. And I used to, you know, dude, I think a transformation pick is a fucking fantastic tool to affect change and initiate motivation in somebody, because I've seen it happen with people who follow what I do. But I think we also, as a society, are starting to fall in love with before and after pics, and people should fall in love with the effort in between the pictures, dude.
Yeah.
And it's like,
it shouldn't be a before and after. It should be constant. If you like a friend of mine, Samantha, went through a giant weight loss process, and every week she took a pic. So when she put them all together after like a year, you saw the transformation of the whole way.
That's really cool.
To me, I think that shows.
That's dedication.
Dude, I didn't even think to do that because I was just so obsessed with doing it. I didn't give a fuck about taking pictures or anything.
Because when you don't see those steps in between, you think, well, you know.
Oh, one day she just woke up and boom, there she goes. She's dropped 100 whatever pounds.
But that's the case with so many things. Not just weight loss. That's the case with, like, just to say Michael Jordan, right? People are fucking enamored with his game-winning shots, his big stats, but ain't nobody talking about this dude alone in the gym, first and last to leave, fucking by himself, taking the same shot over and over and over and over again, like Kobe, same shit.
You know what I mean? He reinvented himself. He used to be kind of how Derrick Rose was, all attack, all attack, all attack.
Well, as he got older and his knees got,
he realized he had to adjust.
And Kobe did the same thing.
That's what made them great.
Did it, Kobe did it.
But I mean, and
Rose
those are great.
No.
Those are great examples of like that right there is that how society's so obsessed with the result and not with the work
that goes
to
into
get to the result. And a while back, I kind of, which is why a lot of times I'll post my workouts on Instagram, because I want to show people like this is the shit that matters, that I don't stop. No matter what the fuck happens to me, I keep going every day. Boom, 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 boom. You know, unless I get hurt like I was. But you know what I mean?
But
like,
even that's temporary. We've both gone through that.
Yeah, but you know what? When you get hurt, where it's something that keeps coming back week after week, that makes it a lot harder, because then you have people saying, "Well, you need to rest it." It's like, well, if you rest it, then you're going to get back in a slump of I don't want to do it.
Well, here's self-awareness again, though, because you have to. RJ hit me with that too, which is clearly you're going too hard, dude. Because for the last year, it's been like 2 months straight, you're good, and then boom, you get hurt. Then 2 months, you get hurt again. Something about what you're doing is wrong. And I had to take a step back and say, okay, dude, like, I have to temper these workouts because whatever I'm doing is fucking me up. It's not helping anything. Because just like you just said, what good is it for me to bust my balls for 2 months and then get hurt and I can't do shit for 2 weeks? All the progress I made is gone now.
2 weeks. I mean, you're lucky. I mean, as we get older, you're going to end up having injuries that could last for the rest of your life.
And if I'm not careful, this is where the obsessive nature can be a bad thing. Because my obsession to work out constantly, because I'm addicted to how good it feels. I love it going there. I love the endorphin rush. I love all that shit. My obsession leads sometimes to injuries.
Yeah,
sure.
So, you know,
same here, dude. Shit.
Yeah, and they do. My wife would give me shit.
When I was doing my jogging and walking, I'd have pain and just keep going. But because it was the same thing though. If I stop, I'm not going to start again.
But you have to.
For me, it was a little different than for you.
But I think that's another thing of self-awareness is knowing yourself to know, okay, which pain can I push through, and which pain should I fucking stop right now? Because it happened to me last week at the gym. I was doing shoulders, and I felt something right here in my back. You know, in the middle of my back,
like the shoulder blade.
Well, like in the middle, like right here.
In the spine.
Like where your spine is.
So I'm going
like
right,
a disc.
And you know, my crazy side was like, "Fuck that, don't stop." But then I stepped back and I was like, "Last time you did this, you ended up in physical therapy."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, all right, your back right now is telling you that's enough for today, dude.
Yeah.
But there's some pain that you should push through because it makes you
muscle
stronger.
Stuff that like muscle soreness.
When
you first start working out, the first thing I noticed was like my leg when I was doing jogging and even walking, you know, long distances. You know, your legs are going to be sore afterwards or the next day, and that you can push through. You know, once they get warmed up and loosened up again, it fades. And
I think
eventually, over
pushing
time,
through
you don't
goals,
have that.
Oh yeah, and I was gonna say one of the things I know discourages a lot of people I've talked to is the first 2-3 weeks of working
It's
out.
the hardest ones.
Well, you gain weight.
Because
and-
you're converting fat to muscle.
Well, not yeah, you're building up the muscles so that way you can handle the exercises.
Depends
So people
what you're
see
doing.
that
If
it doesn't matter
if you're
if you,
doing weightlifting. Yes.
No,
if
no.
you're-
No,
if
even-
you've
even
never
walking
done
and
anything
jogging.
and you start jogging,
No.
you start building
And
internal
actually-
muscles in your
Oh,
legs.
Because
Yeah.
when I started, man, the first week I dropped mad weight.
Well, you were also excessively obese.
Yeah, that could be. That's part of it too.
You know,
But
and you were
yeah.
your legs were strong enough carrying all that weight around.
I know what I say yesterday. If only the rest of me looked like my
your calves, right?
See, for me, when I started
Got Arnold
years
calves.
ago, when I started working out, I was doing mostly weights, and I wasn't getting smaller because I was building muscle and it was pushing the fat forward.
Yes,
This is-
that's
this is
why
gonna
That's
be-
another thing
cardio
people
has
need
to be.
really watch.
This is
Huge.
going to be a topic for another episode. Is being able to mentally adjust to the scale's not moving the way it used to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I have to, not cry.
Yeah.
So, but that we'll
But
talk about that another time.
But you and me are in different areas. Like I work out now to get stronger. You still work out to lose weight. But I almost fucked up my whole shoulder trying to get stronger, being as crazy as you were, and that put me on the shelf for like 4 months. So
See, that's
what good is that?
That's the tough part, is that the craziness, the obsession, leads to incredible results.
Sure.
I mean, I honestly don't believe any great achievement is going to happen without being obsessed to some extent. But
For
when
sure.
the
Sure.
obsession starts making you hurt yourself, that's the tough part. It's the tough line to walk for people, for all of us who are goal getters, whatever you want to call it. The tough line for all of us to walk is, when do you turn it off? When do you say, okay, man, that's it, step back for a second because I'm going to hurt myself again, And it's always been a tough line for me to walk, man, because I've hurt myself multiple times now because I'm just too fucking obsessed. And I'm very much about routine. Once I get into a routine, I don't want to break it, dude, because once it breaks, I'm like, oh God, no, everything's gonna fuck up. You know what I mean? And
A lot of people are like that. I think most people that listen to this relate to that.
yeah, but I really think the main thing I want people to take away from this episode is, stop fucking lying to yourself. Really, be okay with your weaknesses and figure out what the hell your strengths are. What stuff has always worked and what stuff doesn't work. And stop dealing with the shit that clearly doesn't work.
Yeah.
I mean, if you are saying to yourself, well, I'm going to have cheat meals and they always turn into cheat month, clearly you are not the person who can have a cheat meal in your life. And that's okay. It sucks. I'm sorry to say it sucks, dude. It does suck that you can't do that. But maybe someday you will arrive at a place where you can. Because I feel like me right now, I'm in a different place than I was almost 7 years ago. 7 years ago, you could not put a piece of pizza in front of me. I couldn't eat it because I was in fear of what would happen. Now, I can have a piece of pizza and it doesn't send me on a fucking shit spiral of binge eating.
Yeah.
But that's because I developed the mental strength by putting myself through that fucking whatever gauntlet. I don't know what you want to call it, but I trained my head to think differently than the way it did back then. And that was a big proponent of that, was not lying to myself and being honest about who I am as a person, how I work, and knowing my strengths and weaknesses and working with those. Instead of trying to be somebody I'm not, I try to work with who I already am.
Yeah. And I think to your point, especially with the way this podcast is made, I think we all have to be a bit grateful that we can do this, that we can exercise to lose weight. I mean, we may never look great, may never look like supermodels or anything, but we've added years to our lives. So you especially. I mean, for that, you should be grateful. For anybody who actually does, whether it's once a week, 3 times a week, or every freaking day, for those who exercise and do something beneficial for themselves aside from destroying themselves, you should be grateful, 1, you have the opportunity to do so, and 2, that you're extending your life longer.
Yeah,
I
dude,
mean,
I think that's important. I think a lot of people...
It doesn't have to be all about what you look like. I mean, you want to be
Yeah,
here.
it's a big
can.
misconception, is because there are people that never will look like, and I'm going to say RJ because people can't see him though, but RJ looks pretty good. Like, I would love to look like RJ, but I know plenty of people that are never going to look like RJ that still work out every day, and
Yeah.
because of that, the cardio's there still.
Yeah, their heart's
You know,
strong.
heart's
I'll give you a
body's
great
strong,
example.
They're gonna
You
live
know,
long.
You don't
Yeah.
need to look like.
Here's a great
You don't.
example
You
of that.
really
Our friend
don't.
Alan.
You don't need to look like Chris Hemsworth.
Alan is in much better aesthetic shape than I am. He and I did a 5K together, and I smoked him.
Yeah,
And it's not to talk.
all
And I'm
about
not talking
physical
shit because
look, yeah.
Alan said it to me. He's like, dude. He's like, you must be in unbelievably better cardio shape than I am, and that's because, bro,
You are.
I'm on the treadmill every goddamn day. You're not. It's only natural. Like that. That just is what it is. That has nothing to do with weight.
Yeah.
Like I can my
Shit, you'd probably kill me in a 5K.
my
Because I
endurance,
smoke.
my endurance is superior to yours because I've been training
Training
it
for
for
it, yeah.
all this time, dude.
Yep.
But I didn't wake up the next day after I died and was like, all right, I'm gonna do a 5K.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I didn't do that. You just have to know you gotta stay in your lane. We talked about that last time. You have to stay in your fucking lane, dude. You gotta know what you're capable of, and you gotta be willing to be patient with the process, man. Like, so I knew that
you
back
can't,
in the day.
You can't jump to the fast lane all of a sudden.
That was
think
a
you're gonna
mistake.
fucking make it.
I
No.
That was a
tried
mistake
that
I
years
made.
ago.
Oh, I've tried.
And
Everybody
No,
has.
that was one of the mistakes I used to make
Got the
before.
good shoes and stuff. I'm like, I could go straight to jogging. Nope.
That was one of the mistakes I used to make before was, all right, I'm going to change everything. And then I'd go to the gym and go fucking nuts, and I'd be out of commission. And I'd be like, well, let's just go to Burger King. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? I knew the day after that a part of knowing myself and knowing how I work was this has to be something for the long haul.
Yep.
I have to stop with the rush bullshit, and dude, honestly, even recently, I've had to adopt this mentality to other things because my impatient nature makes me see something like only 50 listens. That's not enough. We have to figure out how to make it more.
And then,
Not-
and then I get messages.
but you know what but you know what I'm saying? Like that is a shitty way
Only
to
3
think.
issues.
You know what? But that's a shitty way to think
Where you
because
should be like, oh, 3 issues.
Yeah,
it's-
really.
I've had to start adopting the weight loss mentality to other stuff as well because the truth of the matter is nothing is going to just blow up overnight, dude, and nothing is going to just happen the next day just because you want it to. And I was okay with that when it came to weight loss, but because I had failed so many times before that.
Right.
And everything I had done up to that point basically almost killed me. So I had no choice but to start thinking differently. Otherwise, I would be dead, dude.
Yeah.
What you just said about being grateful, right? Every time I'm in the gym, I remember the night I almost died. Every time. When I'm running on the treadmill, I go back to that place. And it makes me remember what it was like to not be able to do what I can do now. So regardless of injury and all that shit, what you just said, I mean, dude, so many people only look at fitness as a means to an end. They only look at it like, I need to lose 50 pounds. I need to look shredded. I need to do this, that, and the other. And the gratitude for the fact that your punk ass is able to work out.
Yeah.
Okay. The gratitude that your punk ass is able to go in the gym and work out when so many people can't.
Yeah.
And you're able to just get free drug of endorphins.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that gratitude right there, I mean, RJ, the point that it's such an important thing that a lot of people need to get that through their fucking head is you should be grateful that you are even able to go work out because so many people out there can't. And so many people out there wish they could.
Yeah.
There's people who are handicapped, there's people that are sick that wish they could go walk around the block.
Or wish-
I'm going to talk to that my friend and see if we can get that one. Speaking of the handicap thing, that one girl that I showed you on Facebook, if she could come on.
Oh, that'd be
Oh
great.
man, that'd be
Because
fantastic.
that's just I mean, the story she has is just out.
But it's true. I mean, even my father, who's a amputee now, if he would have known, what was going to happen 20 years ago, he probably would have been in the gym. Or he's told me he would have been in the gym more. And it's like, sometimes laziness or living this
Fear.
Western lifestyle that everybody lives has its fucking consequences.
Comfort
Cancers
addiction.
and just bad things that can happen all around just for not being in any kind of shape. So
Yeah, and that's once again, I mean, I think it's a great way to end this episode is on the way we started it, which is be grateful for the fact that you can sit around listening to a podcast or sit around recording.
Well, hopefully
one.
listening to it while you're working
Or
out.
hopefully while you're working out. But, you know,
Didn't-
really, like RJ said, it is important to be grateful for the fact that if you are able to work on your fitness or exercise, it's an incredible blessing and gift that a lot of people don't have and wish they did. So if you're one of those people, be fucking grateful. Don't be an asshole.
Don't be an asshole.
And yeah, know yourself, man. Stop bullshitting yourself. And with that, I will say, yeah, if this hit home, please give it a share. And as always, remember, all you need is a start and some heart. Peace.